Thank you. Thank you, Weekly for Nyango Oma, for coming in. I'm so excited today that you could tune in. Thank you very much. We are excited. If you are tuning in, kindly wave, say something. Let's make this very, very interactive today. The consequences of beliefs. The consequences of beliefs. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Bye, Athoya. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate your presence in this place. Let's chill a little bit as we listen to George Frederick Handel, Water Music, to warm us up, even as we are waiting for people to tune in. And in a few minutes, we will go into the topic of the day, the consequences of beliefs. The consequences of beliefs. Simon Getz, all the way from Ukunda, Kwale County. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. You can share this broadcast to your friends and invite them to tune in. Today it's going to be very, very interesting as we zoom in into Africa and our beliefs and the consequences of our beliefs. Oh, Norbert Oluoch Ndisio, my book editor, thank you. Thank you that you're here. By the way, gentlemen, Norbert Oluoch is the editor of the book Eradicating Poverty Mentality that this talk today is based on. Daniel Musibi, thank you for tuning in, brother. Dorothy Mundui, thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, you can share this broadcast and invite your friends. Tell them to come. It's going to be an exciting moment today. It's going to be an exciting moment today. Judy Mugera, thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. And appreciate your support. My wife. Thank you. The consequences of beliefs. The consequences of beliefs. Do you have any beliefs that affect you? Thank you, Anik Anochola, for tuning in. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. So let's go to the topic of the day. Let's go to the topic of the day. Let's go to the topic of the day. You know, your subconscious mind is the seat of your beliefs, is the seat of your principles, and even the seat of your memory. Our submission to belief system is consequential not only to our generation, but also to others that are yet to come. And I know most of us have beliefs. I don't think there's anybody in this world who doesn't have belief system. Whether consciously or unconsciously, we are beliefs that control us, beliefs that guide us. They could be religious beliefs, they could be cultural beliefs, they could be personal beliefs, they could even be political beliefs. But let me tell you this, that one of the major concerns is the belief that it's okay to lie. We have pathological liars among us who subscribe to the fake it until you make it mantra. Now, this belief has put many on a self-destruction path. And today we're going to sample a few of the beliefs that affect us every day. Some we are conscious of them, some we are not conscious of. So pathological lying can be described as the habit of lying. You know, pathological liars constantly lie for no personal gain. And let me tell you this, that today poverty mentality has assumed the form of individuals who paint pictures of people who live in paradise, but in real sense, they live in hell. They paint pictures of people who live in paradise, but in real sense, they live in hell. Now, let me tell you this. It's okay to dream big, have faith, and speak positively. It's at the same time not okay to lie about your economic status just to impress people. But do we have such people in the society today? Hey, my friend, there are so many people who live a lie, and they have developed a habit of lying for no personal gain. And I'm not saying I'm not encouraging people to lie for any gain, but what I'm saying is that pathological lying becomes a habit. You build one block of lies, you have to support it with another block of lies, and you keep building another block of lies and another block of lies, so that you have to lie to cover a lie that you have not already lied, and cover with another lie and another lie before you realize you are actually lying as an habit. Pathological lying is a psychological problem which may require counseling intervention to recover. You know, it starts as a small thing most of the time. It's just a small thing. But you know what? Before long, you realize you are ingrained in this particular habit. You know, the seduction that comes with it is very venomous. It can hypnotize the victim to fully believe in the lying and defend them terribly before discovering their infatuation with deception. And that is the saddest thing. We begin to infatuate with deception. We get to a point whereby our whole life is a lie. And you know, people go, you know, and they're trying to impress people, you know, they can go ahead even and fake it. I'm sure you have met people who hold car keys and they will tell you they have 2 cars, but they don't have any car. They just want to impress you that they have a vehicle, or impress you that they live in particular suburbs just to make you feel good, or trust them, or think of them as of another status. But what does that benefit you? What does that benefit you? And I want to share a practical story that I was told by a friend. And let's use Tony as the name of this young man. That is not his real name. Tony graduated from a local university. Being an only son, the family had great hopes that he would soon find a job, fend for himself, and also help the parents. True to their expectation, he tried his hand in 2 organizations. Soon afterwards, it became clear that he was no longer interested in going to work or even seeking new employment. And so what happened? He convinced his parents that all was okay and that soon his life would change for the better. Was that the truth? You will find out soon. Weeks turned into months and months into years. Tony's situation did not change. There was a problem. Tony developed a habit of locking himself in his room. He always brooded over his computer. He neither interacted with people nor went out. Nobody knew what he was up to. In fact, family members began to get worried. Now, one of Tony's siblings decided to find out what was ailing his brother. She knew his friends and thought it wise to ask some of them whether they could help or they could find out what was happening with their friend. To her amazement, Tony had already confided in their friends, with the friends, and told them that he was busy with work, and that's the reason why he couldn't spend ample time with them like before. And he told them that he was working in a project, that he had landed with Google and also IBM in Dubai. And as soon as he was done with that, he will come back home and throw a party, and celebrate with them. In fact, he went ahead to show them pictures of a BMW X5 and Mercedes-Benz S500 that he was about to import. How sad can that be? So the friends were shocked to find out that actually he had become a victim of his own lies. When reality hit them, they were dumbfounded to learn later that Tony had become a victim of his own lies. He had gotten ensnared by his own fantasies. Now, just ponder on that story a little bit. Does this story sound familiar? Have you encountered with pathological liars in your life? How many other people had this gentleman lied to? In my life, I've encountered with 3 terrible pathological liars. Believe me, it's not a nice experience to go through, because these people can hypnotize you with their lies. So you got to be very, very keen to track what they say. The good thing was that I was able to bust them. This is because I have a very, very strong memory and I'm able to track information. If you tell me this today, then I will track it. And tomorrow, if you tell me a different thing, then I will also track that. What is the moral of this story from this young man called Tony? Number 1, that little lies advance to become big lies. Little lies, ladies and gentlemen, advance to become big lies. You don't need to lie to impress others. Number 2 is that you don't need to lie to impress others. And that lies augment a poverty mentality. If you want to augment a poverty mentality, develop this habit of lying. And you will find yourself developing these terrible beliefs that you have to lie to keep impressing people. Pathological lying is just one of the consequences of our beliefs. But apart from a poverty mentality, pathological lying is attributable to other factors. Let's sample a few of these other factors that affect us big time, and we have made them our beliefs. Some of our habits cannot redeem us from poverty. While ceremonies are good, we seem to create excuses so as to have as many of them in this side of the world. We justify this trend by pointing at our extravagant nature. Funerals are not strictly for burying the dead, but an opportunity to spend money. I'm sure right now most people are sad that they cannot attend to funerals because of the restrictions that are there, that only 15 people can go for a funeral ceremony. But you know what? People eat, dance, and make merry during funerals. This all beliefs, which has developed into a terrible habit, has trapped many in poverty. Let me tell you this. It is easier for people to contribute money for funeral arrangements than to do so for you to start a business. And if you think it's a joke, you select a group of 50 people and then share with them an idea and tell them, I want to start a business worth 100,000. I have 50,000. I need each one of you to contribute 1,000 each so that I can be able to start a business. See how many people in this side of the world will support you. But the same people, if you post and tell them that, you know what, I have a relative that has died and I need your help. I need your help quickly to help me bury our relatives. Believe me, you will get a lot of sympathy messages and a lot of contributions from the same people. But look, even worse is the fact that these same people may not even contribute when one is in need of medical attention, but they will do so upon one's death. You could be sick, people will not contribute, but believe me, when you die, people will contribute money. Now, this is sad. This is sad. And we need to change these behaviors, my brothers and sisters. And sadly, Even in funeral, instead of using money to help the bereaved family, people make sure it's spent to the last coin to meet an extravagant funeral cost. So they will buy an expensive coffin, make sure they have contracted somebody to bring food, get expensive chairs, just to make sure you have what quote unquote is called an honorable send-off. While the same person, when was alive, he lived in a terrible circumstances or terrible situation. This and many other retrogressive trends arrest our development. Thank you very much for those who are tuning in. Right now we are discussing the consequences of beliefs. But what about love for foreign stuff? What about love for foreign stuff? Well, it is okay to appreciate imported things. It is wrong to exalt them and despise our own. But most of the time, this is what happens. We despise our own things. Some people are obsessed with foreign things. Their love for imports is inspired by their desire to impress others. It's their way of making statement on their socioeconomic status. Consequently, they end up incurring unnecessary and otherwise avoidable expenses. Listen to me, the thirst for imported gadgets, machines, clothing, and foodstuff is insatiable in this side of the world. But have you ever come to think, what about if these things were being produced locally? Where will our economy be? What about if we went forward to buy clothes locally instead of trying to impress people by usable suits and foreign perfumes, and great brands that are international? The rate at which people change cell phone, television sets, and computer is mind-boggling. A keen observation won't help the impact this would have on our economy if these things were produced locally. Now, listen to me, it's important to talk about this. A vehicle is a means of transport. But there is a misconstruction, though. Many mistake a vehicle for a symbol of one's economic status. This is a clear indicator of how inverted our priority list has become. Now, let me tell you this. Most university graduates dream of getting a first job to enable them buy a vehicle, even if they don't need one. Now, it will surprise you that somebody will go ahead to take a loan to buy a car when the distance between his home or her home to the office can take between 10 to 15 minutes on foot. Why do you need to do that? Look, this person will spend 4 years servicing a loan, yet he would have saved and bought the car at a cheaper price. Alternatively, he could have invested the money in a business. Most likely, his money would have yielded enough profit to enable him secure his dream vehicle effortlessly. But is this the case? No. We are trapped most of the time. We are trapped in these beliefs that we need to own particular things, and especially foreign stuff and own machines, even when they cost us so much and they don't encourage us to become better as far as financial management is concerned. Now, it's important to know that a poverty mentality always attains fulfillment from the material things it can see without questioning how they were acquired. Now, many derive pleasure from acquiring unsustainable funding to acquire things that they do not really need. They are driven by their desire to show off. Now, let's look at these beliefs. Our beliefs have brought trauma to us. Our beliefs have brought a lot of trauma to us. Most people look so successful, but in real sense, if you examine their lives very closely, they are in a lot of trauma. Their families are in a lot of traumas. Our habits have cost us, and it is time we change them and begin to think differently. Being wealthy ought not to be a reason for you to marry many wives and have many children. Times have changed, ladies and gentlemen. Similarly, transforming yourself into a donor simply because you have acquired a fortune will not take you far. But who told you? Who told you because you have money at your disposal, you should go ahead and buy everyone a drink or two at your local pub? That kind of mentality will not sustain your resources. Will not sustain your resources. Did you know today, even in this country, we import chicken, we import eggs, we import even, onions, we import toothpicks. It's sad that sometimes you could see somebody wearing a suit that was imported, a vest that was imported, a shirt that is imported, an innerwear that is imported, socks that are imported, shoes that are imported. Come on, guys. For how long will we continue with such a habit? And who bewitched you to think if you wear a suit worth 100,000 Kenya shillings or $1,000 or more, you will look expensive? And should your celebrity status compel you to always dine in a 5-star hotel? Just because now you are a celebrity or you've gotten some money, now you dine in 5-star hotels, for breakfast you're there, for lunch you're there, sometimes you take people for dinner. And I'm not saying it's wrong. But this kind of habits just to impress people will affect you now and in the future. This kind of thinking is the greatest enemy to true progress. It is the reason the third world is on its way to becoming the fourth world or even the fifth world. Now, let me warn you, my friends. Let me warn you today. That shopping in Dubai doesn't make you appear more civilized than those who shop locally. Similarly, wearing foreign brands does not transform you into a fashion guru. Wear what you're comfortable in instead and change your mentality. You won't become any better until you begin to change your mindset and become a better person. You need to debate with some of those beliefs, dispute some of those beliefs, and create a new philosophy of living that will begin to develop you to become a better person as far as belief systems are concerned. Now, I've been to India 2 times. Let me share a story about India. When I was in India the first time, I had a conversation with a friend. My friend said clothes once used to be very expensive in India. Many businessmen used to import and sell clothes at exaggerated price, like what is happening today in our country. This prompted people to demand for change. The government rose to the occasion. Cotton industry were revived and textile processing factories established. Today, India has a vibrant textile and clothing market. Majority of Indians buy their clothes locally, and as a result, they have a sustainable market which impacts the economy. 1.2 billion people. That's a sustainable market. And we can think about our own 47 million people. That's a sustainable market right here. What can we do in food production, clothing industry or textile industry, and even machine and garden? Are we thinking of having our own local branded phone in the next 10 years? Are we thinking of having our own television sets made in Kenya in the next 10 years? Is this something that we think about? Or we are just here importing things and thinking that life is going to become better every day as we continue doing this? What can we do differently to transform our economy? We must begin by changing our mentalities. If we can see it, believe me, we can have it. Let's begin with the mind. Change is oftentimes triggered by a replacement of a particular mindset. Change is oftentimes triggered by a replacement of a particular mindset. Now, I was perusing the other day the family data on poverty that was produced by the Kenya Bureau of Statistics, KNBS, 2015-2016, Basic Report on the Well-Being of Kenya on Hardcore Poverty or Extreme Poverty. Now, this is what this report reveals, that poverty increases with an increase in household size. No, not me, that's the report. The report states that at the national level, households with 1 to 3 members recorded the least poverty headcount rate of 14.7% compared to 54.1%. This is more than half of households with 7 or more members. Now, this notwithstanding, there are people in the 21st century who still believe in siring a lot of children. Now, the presumed synonym between children and wealth is alive and well in Africa even today, even though times have changed. Some people believe that many children enhance a family chances of producing doctors, presidents, lawyers, and many other professionals. While I believe in destiny according to God's plan, I advise parents to have children they can comfortably and responsibly care for. Go get children that you can comfortably and responsibly care for. If you can comfortably and responsibly care for 10 children, then what's wrong with that? But if you cannot, then there is a problem. If you want to get 7 children or 5 children that you can responsibly and comfortably care for, I do not have a problem with that. But when you struggle and you get yourself to the point whereby you cannot sustain your lifestyle, then something is wrong. Something is wrong. According to the same report of 2015-2016 Poverty Index report, overall, 42.8% of polygamous families are poorer compared to 27.2% of their counterparts in monogamous families. Now, I stand to be corrected, but polygamy could be one of the most retrogressive ideas of our times, especially in this side of the continent. I say this with all due respect to religions and traditions that allow for polygamy. But I still feel people should be conscious of the changing times and warm up to monogamous relationship. Now, monogamy allows men and women to plan better for the present and future of their families. Of course, I know this should be in addition to, having or embracing an abundance mentality and also planning in the best way possible, and also commitment to your creator. I know there are some monogamous families that are a disaster, but according to the statistics given by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, is that 42.8% of polygamous families are poorer compared to 27.2% of their counterpart in a monogamous family. So this is the statistic, and so we can work with this and see what can we do to push ourselves to the next level. Let's change our behavior patterns. Listen to me. Old habits won't enable us to conquer new challenges. Old habits won't enable us to conquer new challenges. Look at even our political belief. Even to the educated people, they believe that the only way to the promised land is to get one of your own to become president. And so we grow in life thinking that if somebody from your tribe become the president, that is the way to the promised land. That is the way to out of poverty. But that's not the truth. In this country, we have had so far 4 presidents. 3 of them have come from one particular ethnic group. 1 came from another ethnic group. Now, I want you to go and examine people from those particular ethnic groups, 2 ethnic groups, and tell me whether their lives have become better. You'll be surprised that most of them are still languishing in poverty, irrespective of the fact that they have produced a president. Let's stop this terrible belief and look for responsible and effective leadership that can transform not only people from one ethnic group, but people from different ethnic groups. It's a sorry state in this country, how we propagate ethnicity, tribalism, that has become such a venomous thing that destroys a lot of true leadership and isolates us from moving into the reality of destiny. Now, these beliefs will never take us far. We need to change this and move ourselves into another level. Our mindsets need to be renewed. Thoughts which were created and installed into our minds since the days of our grandparents need to be uninstalled. We need a complete paradigm shift in the way we think and do things. We need a complete paradigm shift, friends, in the way we think and do things. And I believe in Africa. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I believe in Africa. I believe that Africa is rich. Africa has great resources, both humanly and even physical and natural resources. But we got to change our mindset and begin to propagate proper philosophies, change our belief system, and begin to move ourselves into the reality of destiny. Through that, we will take ourselves into the mountaintop of success and significance. This is our time. But we will never move unless we begin to change what has affected us for many, many years. Ladies and gentlemen, we can begin this discussion. We can continue with this discussion, on my page, And I will encourage you to send me an email through info@publicspeakingtc.org. You can inbox me, send me a text. Call me and tell me, Dan, you know what, we need to take this to the next level. Give me your ideas, what we think we can do as Africans to change our belief system and move ourselves to the next level. I believe this discussion is very, very key in such a time as this. And in case you are there and you're saying, Dan, you know what, I need to take one of your courses. Look, we've taken our courses to online now. We are doing them virtually at a discounted cost, and you can take this opportunity right now to sign in for one of our courses. Visit our website at www.publicspeakingtc.org, or go and like our page, the Africa Center for Public Speaking, on Facebook, and drop us a text. Let's connect. There are a lot of opportunity for you, What you need to do is simply say, Dan, I need to grow. Dan, I need to develop my leadership. Dan, I need to become a better communicator. I need to become a better speaker. And my team and I, we are there to help you become a better person. I believe that we can keep doing this every Tuesday at 8 p.m. and we will take ourselves to the next level. Invite a friend every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Invite different groups, and let's connect and share. I'll be waiting to hear from you. You can also comment on my wall, and let's keep discussion going. I am so pleased that you're here. I care for you. I'm your coach. I'm your speaker. And let's move this to the next level. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.